Well, good morning. I'm John Klein. I chair the House Education and the Workforce Committee. We've got some legislation coming up this week that I think is critically important. And it's caused me to think back a long way to when I was a kid in school, and boy, my parents were so intent on me getting through school, getting my diploma, getting to college. I had through a paper route, I sacked groceries, I did all of those things to be the first person in my family to get to college and graduate. And that's what we want for children across America. We want every child to get an excellent education in every school. And what we have right now is simply not working. We have, in many places, half of our kids are not graduating from high school. And many of those who do graduate, they're really not ready to go to college or go to work. We need to change the status quo, and what we have up this week is legislation to do that. It's a bold step to take us in a different direction, to return control to parents and local school boards and states, and get away from this one-size-fits-all mandate program that we have coming from the federal government now. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the change in course, and I'm excited about giving every child a chance to succeed.
Today, the House is going to vote on H.R. 529 to expand, strengthen, and improve 529 plans. Our country's fallen from 1st to 19th in college graduation rates. A larger than average percentage of children have less education than even their parents. The cost of college is skyrocketing, and student debt now stands at an all-time high $1.2 trillion. As a mom with 2 kids currently in college, watching our nation fall behind is a result that I'm not prepared to accept. Studies have demonstrated how the existence of a college savings account substantially increases the chance that a child will attend college. We should be encouraging families to plan ahead, and 529s are proven and they're popular tax-free college savings tools. I'm using them for my kids, and I know that we should be boosting, not taxing 529 so more Americans use them, extend their education, and get that job that they've always dreamed of. That's what I want for my kids, and that's what all Americans deserve. So while the president was forced to withdraw his college savings tax hike, if he's really serious about helping families, more members of his party should be on board and support this bill this afternoon.
Well, first off, I want to say how disappointed I am. How disappointed I am that the president vetoed Keystone Pipeline simply for political reasons. With that veto, the president said no to more than 40,000 jobs. The president with that veto said no to bipartisan legislation that worked with the House and the Senate. But despite the obstruction of what this president is doing, saying no to the American public, you will find in the House that we're working in a different manner. I know the president earlier in his budget said no to every family in America that tries to save for their children's future in a 529 account. We're glad he rethought that with the pressure put forward. But there's more that we can do. I have 2 small kids that are now, one in college and one about to go to college. My wife, Judy, and I, when first found she was pregnant, we started saving. Because it was no longer what we would become, it's what opportunities our children would have. Education is the great equalizer. So we want to make sure that you have that opportunity no matter where you come from in America. And that's what's going part today and this week in the House. 1, improving our education system that empowers parents, empowers local school districts to make kids prepared for the 20. But also with Len Jenkins' 529 account to expand it. Because today in education, yes, you do need a computer. You do need to have the ability to have all the facts and figures out there as you go through college, but the opportunity to reach as high as you can. So our message today is, Mr. President, stop saying no to the American public, but let's say yes to a 21st century where America leads once again.
Later this week, an important education reform bill to the House floor. The Student Success Act, as Chairman Klein described, is going to make really important reforms to get the federal government further out of the role of education and allow the states and local governments and parents to make those good decisions and to come up with really important innovations. Something I've seen in my home state of Louisiana, where we've transformed some of the most failed public schools in the country. The city of New Orleans school system before Hurricane Katrina was one of the most failed and corrupt systems in the entire nation. You literally had children who were graduating. They had a high school valedictorian who couldn't pass the state exit exam. That kid did everything he was asked to do. The system failed him. And so what we were able to do after Hurricane Katrina is set up a system of charter schools where communities and parents got involved in the process of educating their kids in a very direct way, and where they were able to be innovative. And those innovations have now served as a model for how to transform failed public school systems all across the country. In fact, the governor of Georgia is going to be going there next week to see how it's done so he can replicate that in Georgia. That's how education success works, where states are able to be creative, local school boards and parents are able to make those decisions. It doesn't work well when the federal government is given this one-size-fits-all approach. And so this bill gives that flexibility to states, to local governments, and to parents to be more in charge of how their kids are able to succeed. And it's worked well when it's been done. So this bill gives that flexibility. Unfortunately, this morning, the president issued a veto threat on this bill. And so time and time again, we see the president saying no to things that help parents give their kids more opportunity in life. Yesterday, the president said no to 40,000 jobs in America and billions of dollars of private investment when he vetoed the Keystone Pipeline. It's time for the president to stop saying no and start saying yes to getting our economy back on track, giving kids the opportunity to succeed, and their parents the ability to go to their local school board, to go to their state without the federal government coercing and using federal taxpayer dollars to tell them how to do things when they can do it better. Give them the flexibility, and that's what we're going to do later this week.
America is the land of opportunity. This is the country that no matter where you come from, no matter your walk of life, this is the country where you can make your dreams come true. But you know what? So often that starts with an education. And whether it was me when I was in school in Kettle Falls or for millions of other kids in classrooms across this country, the real opportunity comes with a great education. I'm also the mom of 3 kids and want every opportunity for them. I was one of those kids too that was the first in my family to graduate from college. That was my parents' dream for me. And for as long as I could remember, they said, "Kathy, you go to college, we want you to have a better life." And it meant when I had 4-H animals and I sold them, I saved that money so I could go to school. And paying for college today is even, I think, harder than even when I was in school some time ago. So I, too, am just excited. I applaud the leadership of Chairman Klein. I'm excited about Lynn Jenkins' 529 bill that opens up more opportunities because we are committed to strengthening education opportunities for every child in this country. Everyone in this country should have an equal opportunity for education from elementary school to college, and we stand committed to making that happen.
Well, I think education is the civil right of the 21st century. And I want to applaud Chairman Klein for the job that he's doing to provide local communities, states, more flexibility over how federal dollars are used to educate America's kids. The bill that will come forward is a good conservative bill that empowers America and does not empower the bureaucracy here in Washington. Got the same issue with Lynn Jenkins' 529 bill to expand 529 plans to allow more Americans to save for their children's college education. Again, empowering parents. And if you step back and look at what the president is doing, the president is trying to protect the bureaucracy here in Washington. The president wants to have all this control here in Washington. We're for an opportunity society and empowering people around America to do their best and to empower them to get the education that will help them be successful in life.
Speaker, on CHS funding, are you concerned that if you bring up a clean bill to fund the Homeland Security Department, department, like McConnell says he'll do in the Senate, it will be the end of the speakership?
I'm waiting for the Senate to act. The House has done its job to fund the Department of Homeland Security and to stop the president's overreach on immigration. And we're waiting for the Senate to do their job. Senate Democrats have stood in the way now for 3 weeks over a bill that should have been debated and passed. And so until the Senate does something, we're in a wait-and-see mode.
But what about, obviously, you know the way your caucus feels. Are you concerned about a rebellion if you would go that way?
I'm waiting for the Senate to pass a bill.
Per Jake's reporting, you haven't spoken to Mitch McConnell in 2 weeks. Why is that?
Our staff talk back and forth, but listen, Senator McConnell's got a big job to do. So do I.
But shouldn't you talk to him ahead of this important deadline? I mean, you guys are on the same team.
Our staffs have been talking back and forth, but at the end of the day, the Senate has to act. And I've made it pretty clear over the last couple of weeks, we're waiting for the Senate to act.
What do you think, I mean, on the merits of his plan, what do you think about it?
I'm waiting for the Senate to pass a bill. There's a lot, I don't know what the Senate's capable of passing, and until I see what they're going to pass, no decisions have been made on the House side.
Is Congress going to avoid a shutdown of DHS?
I'm waiting for the Senate to act. The House has passed a bill to fund the department. It's time for the Senate to do their job. Thanks, everybody.